Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So I've got these 3 maple logs I'm going to cut up today. So enjoy. Let's go ahead and check the oil while we're here. Okay, so it's right at the top of the stick. We're in good shape. Okay, we'll go ahead and tighten this down. What I do is just tighten the wheel here till it's almost flush. So then I go ahead and use my torque wrench at 23 foot-pounds. There it is. And of course, this is a blade that I sharpened myself and used the 2-setter on. And I've already cut up 1 maple log with it, so this will be the second. Okay, and we'll see how many pulls it takes. I just got buzzed by a wasp. You can't do anything out here without watching out for wasps this time of year. I just killed about 10 of them in my outboard motor. I walked by and saw one climbing into the cover and took the cover off, and there was about 100 of them in there. Okay, so there's one. Oh, and a wasp was coming out of there. Okay, so I pulled the recoil starter the first time and a couple of wasps come flying out. There's a big wasp nest inside that recoil starter. So I sprayed it, and this will be the second pull. These smaller ones are nice. I can do them myself. So check it out. I'm not sure how much lumber I'm going to get out of this one. That middle bunk, that bow in that thing's at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches. But I'm going to turn it and we'll keep on cutting. I do this knocking over the camera. Get a bite here. There it is. So I'll readjust the stops over there and make another slice. Well, that's interesting. When I heard something snap when I first started revving it up, and in my throttle, when I let go of it, it didn't change. I got looking and I've busted the throttle cable somehow, some way. Actually, there it is. So what is going on here? The spring break? Something broke. So let me look at this and troubleshoot a little bit, and then we'll get cutting. Can you see down in there? Okay, so what broke? See that spring? I think it was clipped maybe right there, but it came off. So I probably can just rebend that and hook it on there. So that's what I'm gonna try, because I got logs to cut. Okay, so there's that end of the spring, and here's that end of the spring. I'm not sure if it broke, which would be my guess, or if it just came unwound a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can bend it a little to make it keep working for today at least. It's a stiff little spring. That just about has enough bend on it. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so time will tell if this keeps working, but I bet I can make it work for today. Oh, darn it. It wasn't connected. Or did it break again? No, just didn't connect. And it's because I'm trying to film it. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's back where it belongs. So, should be in business. Between the wasps, the heat, and the sun that just about blinded me. I'm gonna try and get this cut up, but it might turn into tomorrow's project.
And the first board from that log has been brought in, and now I will start processing it.
Floating bunk in. Perfect. And these smaller logs are nice. Well, I believe I just broke a band. You can still hear the pulley spinning. This one. So let's open it up. Obviously, if the blade was still spinning, I wouldn't do this. Oh, it busted a belt. Or threw it off, at least. I haven't seen that before. So I've got a new drive belt. Let's see. It looks like our blade isn't too bad. Oh, nope, it broke. So we broke a belt, or broke a blade. And this blade I had sharpened and set, and it was cutting really good. And I still think it's a win because, like I said, that was a blade that I got 2 cuts out of. So there was a spot on this blade. I bet this is hot. And that's it. So I'm gonna get the camera to work. Stop this. Okay. So there was a spot on this blade, and you can kind of see it, where when I was sharpening it, the wheel spacer fell off the little bolt and cut into that blade a little farther than it should have. And so basically it was a defect in the way it was sharpened, and that's right where it broke. So, and again, that's still not bad because this was the first blade I sharpened, and I knew I kind of messed it up a little bit, but it cut really well, and I got, I'll say 1 1/4 logs cut up with it. That first log I cut up was much bigger than this one. So I'm not disappointed with that at all. So I've got a new set of belts, but I think this one just popped off. I don't really see anything wrong with it. So I'll put that belt on, put a new blade on it, and we'll continue cutting. Kind of my theory on sharpening these blades as well is I've got like 20 dull blades in there, and I sharpened up 4 of them the other day, and I'm just going to keep sharpening those 4 until they can't be sharpened or they break, because my goal is to not have 20 blades hanging on the wall. So here's one that's gone, and I've got a friend that does forging, and he can make knives out of this, so I'm going to give this blade to him, and he can use it for his forging hobby. So here's a little better view of the defect that I put in this blade when sharpening it. So that goes together right there, but you can see the extra deep gullet. And like I said, I was adjusting it, and it fell, the stopper fell off the little bolt, and so it ground into that blade about a 1/4 inch deeper than I wanted to. The other thing that's interesting is I noticed is it also broke right at the weld. So probably a bad place to put a defect. But like I said, I'm happy with it. I got two full uses. This blade was getting dull, and that might be why it finally broke, was I'm starting to push a little harder on it than I should have. So let's get a new blade on here, put the V-belt back on, and keep on working. Okay, so this V-belt, I don't think there's much to it. So pretty easy to do, just walk it over and make sure it's actually in correctly. And it looks good. Looks like it's sticking up from the edge of the pulley all the way around. And I'm feeling it. It had one little blurb there where it wasn't totally smooth. but I don't feel any damage at all on this V-belt. So let's put her back together and keep on cutting. Okay, so here is the second blade that I sharpened, and it has no defects, so it shouldn't break at least the same way or from the same cause. It may totally break, but it'll probably be something totally different. I am very impressed, you know, with that blade breaking. This cabinet contained everything perfectly, and like I said, there was no even real noises or anything that would lead me to believe that I, as the operator, would be in any danger. So your mileage may vary, of course, but when you're messing with a giant steel spring that pops, it's pretty nice knowing that it's going to stay contained. Okay, and I loosened that up, but loosen it up a little more. I like these to go on easily, and then I play with them to get them snugged up and lined. And that's still, for some reason, not as loose as it should be. Maybe I never did loosen it. I mean, like I said, when it broke, it got plenty loose. But not loose enough to put a non-broke blade back on. There we go. Like I said, I loosened it all the way up, so these things basically just almost fall on. Then I get my spacing right, which is the back of the blade. I just make sure I can feel it. I don't know what the measurement might be. It's probably an 1/8 or so. Now come over here and do the same thing. Way too far. Okay, now I'll start tightening it up just to snug it. Do a little more adjusting. Okay, now I'll get the adjustment that I want. It's actually not bad. Whoop. That's that right off. And now it's coming back. So spin this wheel about 10 times, make sure it's not going to fall off. And that noise, if you hear that clicking, it's coming out of the clutch. Okay, tighten it up a little bit more. I'll go till the little bearing is flush. Spin it a little more. It gets harder when you tighten it up because now you're running through that clutch a little more. Okay, I like it. Seems like it's good, so let's tighten it down with the torque wrench on the Harbor Freight torque wrench. And there it is. Okay, we'll button the cabinet back up and get going. So this thing had 2 more latches. They've vibrated off and went the way of who knows what, but I've got this latch and that screw, and that's all that keeps my cabinet closed. Okay, and it's been running enough now, it ought to start pretty easily. So let's give that a shot. Okay, and I'm gonna turn on my fan, get my hearing protection on, and go back to time lapse for y'all. So this is the second blade that I sharpened and set with the Woodland Mills sharpener and setter. The first one cut really well. Let's keep our fingers crossed this one does too. So I had to change hats. That big sun hat, it was really nice, but the fan, which is also really nice, kept blowing it off my head. And so that blade cut so freaking smooth. I love it. Really nice maple. So let's keep cutting them up. Blade number 2 that I sharpened myself. I'll tell you what, that Woodland Mills sharpener and setter, you know, there's other ways to sharpen them, I'm sure, but I've never been the greatest person at sharpening anything. And I'll tell you what, I made those used up blades come out like new. So that's got to be because of that sharpener. Okay, I'll probably end the milling portion of this video here. Probably go inside and do a couple clips of Maggie running those boards through the edger saw, which is just table saw for us, and then also the planer. I've got 2 more maples laying over there, one the same size as this one a little bigger. And as far as our blades going, so this is the second blade that I've used that I sharpened myself, and it is cutting like a brand new blade. I love it. The first blade, because I had that blurb on there, I'm sure is why that broke. But again, if you haven't had a blade break inside your machine, it's really nothing to worry about. This cabinet held, in my case at least, everything inside, and nothing came flying out or created a problem. Now the blade broke on that corner. I'm not sure what would happen if it broke maybe right in the center while you're cutting, but yeah, I'm just highly, highly impressed with this Woodland Mills HM126. And I'm not trying to sell them to you, because I figure if you're watching this video, you already have one. But this is allowing us to do work that we just could not do any other way. Okay, so here is a stack of all maple, which that's now 2 logs worth. Here's our stack of cherry, and there's some trim pieces that are oak in that. But those are all totally dry and stabilized and ready for use. So we've got quite a bit of cherry. Okay, and then this is all freshly milled today maple. So we still have to run it through the planer, and then we'll put it on those pallets where that cherry came from and let it start drying. We figure it's gonna take at least 3 months. This stuff is about 25% moisture at this time. It's kind of insane how wet this is. But it dries out nicely, and then we'll be able to use it to finish our house. If you watched this video all the way through and you liked it, we'd sure appreciate a like. It absolutely helps everything we're doing here. So have a great day and be safe.